I'm Nitin Dahad and run a company called TechSpark. So I'm going to speak for the next 5 minutes on just my background and experience in taking, and also to talk about how to take your company overseas, what kind of things do you need to do in terms of marketing and preparing for the US and international markets. So my background, 30 years in technology and lots of the sort of famous old names from the technology sector, and also magazines, and also working with the IoT. So I've got a variety of things I've been doing, mostly working with technology companies, media, and software. So I'm going to talk a little bit about just my experience with the startups and taking it to Silicon Valley. We started a company called Arc International, which is a 32-bit microprocessor company, user configurable microprocessor. And my task when I was taken on by the CEO of that founding team was basically to take the company to IPO within 2 years. We did several fundraising rounds, raised about £140 million in various fundraising rounds. One of my roles was to take the company to Silicon Valley and build that company there, establish the presence there. I used to commute every other week from here to San Jose, so that was quite an amazing thing for 2 years. So working with investors, partners, customers, media, managed to get to number 3 in the market in the US, behind ARM and MIPS. You've all heard of ARM. MIPS was acquired by Imagination Technologies. Imagination is a local Watford-based company. So yeah, quite good to do that. And then we did the IPO in September 2000 on the London Stock Exchange. So from startup to Silicon Valley to Stock Exchange, fantastic journey. So in terms of that, I mean, that gave me the background to working with companies to go international, and particularly to Silicon Valley. So one of the things I've been doing over the last 12 years is just supporting companies in helping their international market strategy and business development. So why go international in the first place? Well, the world is your oyster. Products are developed globally now. You look at global collaborative efforts, design centers in the US maybe, or here, manufacturing and assembly in the Far East. So it's actually got very distributed. As a result, there's international market opportunity. I've been working with companies that want to go into the US, they want to go into Brazil, they want to go into various parts of Asia. So there's opportunities everywhere depending on what your business is. And obviously, every business is different. But you have to make sure that you're aware of all the cultural and the language sensitivities. And doing business in the US, although the US is, for example, an English-speaking country, there are challenges when working with the US as well. And then I've worked for 3 years in Brazil. Again, the cultural differences there. They are very much like the Asians in the way they do business, but the culture is more sort of European. So there's lots to learn when you go international. One of the things you really have to do is, one of the things, what I found with UK companies is they use a lot of jargon and they talk about their technology and their features. When we went out to Silicon Valley first, we talked about our Whizzy microprocessor and how it could do this, that, and the other. Nobody was interested. So one of the things I say to companies is, don't use jargon, use simple and consistent messaging, which focuses on the user benefit, and use that through all your collateral so that you can present a consistent image through your customers, whether they're in the US or Brazil or India. The other thing that you really have to do is prepare an elevator pitch, and this is something I'm sure you've all heard of, but if not, it's the kind of stuff where you have to talk about what your business is about in 90 seconds as you're going in an elevator if you want to convince somebody like Richard Branson or Bill Gates, and you want their attention and you want them to take action afterwards. So your elevator pitch has to really give in 90 seconds or less what your company is about, what you're looking for, and those are very important. That was actually quite important for me in networking and building the brand in the US for lots of companies. One of the things you really have to do is go out there and be in the market. And the elevator pitch is something you do probably about 20 times a day. So in terms of, if you've got all of that ready, then what you have to do is take yourself out to market. I still think Silicon Valley is one of the more important parts of our tech ecosystem for those of you who are working in tech, which hopefully are quite a lot of you. If you look, there's plenty of maps online you can see, but all the major companies are in tech. I mean, if you go from San Jose, which is down here, up to Mountain View, it's a 20-minute drive on 101 or 280, and within that space you've got all of these companies. So it's a real epicenter of global technology, concentration of many influential companies and customers. There's a sense of community as well, which I've written about a lot since I started my Silicon Valley experience in 1995. People will help everybody. It's easy to network. You can access decision makers and investors very easily. I work with companies now, they can get meetings with 30 or 40 investors in Silicon Valley, in Boston, in New York. It really is very, very easy. And there's a whole sense of community. People will give you advice, free advice, even if they can't help you. And it's actually quite good for validation of ideas, products, or business models. So one of the things I always recommend is go to Silicon Valley just to get a taste of what it's like to be there, get the buzz, and also get the validation of your business model. And be prepared to meet lots of enthusiastic people. So in terms of my top tips, preparation, consistent messaging, use a US language, even if you're targeting other countries. If you're in English, use US rather than English. Network effectively and polish your elevator pitch. Focus on the benefits of your products, not the features. Listen to people, you get lots of free advice. You can validate your ideas. Most important thing in the US or any other country when you're going out is you need reference customers to prove credibility. Our big break was when we mentioned Intel as a customer. Hire someone with a good local contact book. And you really need commitment to market. My commute was every other week for 2 years. You really do need to be there. And sell yourself unashamedly. Brits don't do that very well. Thank you.